Mr. Keys wasn't the only one who had the opportunity. Who else could have had the opportunity? The timestamp on the security camera is off by 3 hours. This means there was a 3-hour gap in time. During that time, anyone could have done it.
If that were the case, then the murderer could have created the gap in time intentionally. It would not have been a simple camera failure. Are you saying that is possible?
It's possible if you had access to this. We're going to the circuit breaker. In this courtyard we found the circuit breaker for the security camera, and it was possible to access the breaker room both before and after the murder.
What? Unfortunately, it appears that you have fallen short of your intentions. Mr. Edgeworth hasn't fallen short of anything! So, can you explain how the murderer obtained the key to the breaker room?
Oh yeah, that's right. It was locked, wasn't it? The warden hangs onto the keys, right?
The breaker room has great importance even in a prison. There is no one who would be able to obtain the key so easily.
You're not thinking outside the box here, Courtney. Well, I can think of someone.
What do you say?
This person, the murderer, was able to get the key. They didn't even need to steal it. There can't be anyone like that! Besides, the breaker to the electrified fence is in that room too! Only one person could have done this. I didn't want to believe it myself, but I trust that my logic is sound. The person who used the key to enter the breaker room is... Patricia Rowland. The murderer is... Well, Missile doesn't seem to like her. Warden Rowland. Oh my, what an energetic little puppy. That's because this dog is extremely fond of sweets. It seems to detect a sweet scent on you. Oh heavens no, I'm not even wearing perfume or anything of the sort. What the dog detects is the sweet scent of death. How poetic! However, does that not imply that I committed a murder? That's what I think. But what?
The warden is the murderer. Mr. Edgeworth, are you serious about your statement?
Oh, how amusing. The very thought of a warden committing a murder. It sounds like something out of my mystery novel.
Precisely. Your reasoning is in contempt.
Hold it! Nothing of the sort. I did not want to believe it myself, but based on the evidence, I have no choice but to believe it. This evidence proves that Warden Rowland is the murderer. Where are my crime scene notes? Take that! The smell gave you away. As you can plainly see, someone has taken notice. This police dog. He tracked a sweet smell that came from the body, and right now he is telling us that the same scent is also on Warden Rowland. Ooh, you're a cruel one to accuse me of a murder based on something like that. Right, Justine, darling. It appears that Judge Courtney has reached the same conclusion as I have.
Mr. Edgeworth, this couldn't have been just a coincidence, could it?
The key to the breaker room and the same scent on the body. If it were only one, it could have been seen as such.
It appears we have reached a conclusion. We should now listen to what the warden has to say.
Indeed. Until we do, we cannot close this case. Oh my goodness! Everyone with such scary faces! So I'm the only one who could have been the murderer! That just cannot be. We're about to find out why I can't be the killer. I heard all about the case from Justine, darling, here. Had I committed the murder, it would have taken place inside the holding cell. But I couldn't have moved the body. I never went into the prison. I was caught up in my work. Up until the show, I was stuck in my office. Check up on it if you like. You'll find there's no record of me entering the prison. I don't know what reasoning you had, but I can't say for sure. I cannot be the killer. But Miss all barked at you, pal! You've gotta be the culprit! Oh heavens, it's not possible. I already told you, I never went to the prison. If you think I'm lying, why don't you check the records? She wants us to check the records. She does seem confident. For now, all we can do is listen to her and try to draw out more information. I do hope you understand, Mr. Edgeworth. Alright, now, let's press on everything. From Judge Courtney, are you too close? As close as fish in water. Are you jealous? Jealous?
On the first day of the investigation, she filled us in on the situation. In exchange for our cooperation, she explained the details of the case to us.
How could you say that? You're so mean, Justine, darling.
The truth is the truth. I believe it should be told as such.
For some reason, these two seem kind of scary. Edward, please! You're the scariest person here! Press on that. The murder occurred inside the cell. How can you be so certain about that? Well, everyone else would be under surveillance, right? And the victim's blood was found there too. That blood was actually from when he was struck by Albert, but I don't think it's necessary to inform her of this fact. That doesn't mean it's proven. You do know that. But I see no contradictions in assuming the crime scene was at the detention center. Pressing on this one. One of these we have to press to continue, so I gotta make sure I don't hit that one. You never went to the prison. Do you have proof of this? Oh my, can't you wait for me to finish? That's rude! You were in your office the whole time. Nothing strange happened. Nope, nothing at all. Were you looking for something? I'm not too good at tidying up. I always forget where I put everything. The other day, I even lost track of an important piece of evidence. How could you have made such a grave error? If someone were to take something from me, I wouldn't even notice it the entire year. What the? I guess it will be hard to attack with the key to the breaker room. On the day of the incident, I was working in my office and searching for lost items. In other words, I couldn't have gone to the prison, even if I had wanted to. Alright, this is where we gotta press. Okay, that was the last statement. Knightley was suspended from the well the night before the show. What should we do, sir? This lady's got nerves of steel!
But there is no record of her going to the prison, is there?
The records won't help us at the present time. First, let's listen carefully and gather information. Alright, now we gotta press the last statement to start this. You did not enter the prison from the entrance. But what if there was another route? Oh my, are you suggesting something like a secret passage? I don't know if anything like that exists. It is my firm belief you did possess an alternative route. That route was neither the entrance nor a secret passage. The route you used was from here. The courtyard!
Take that!
The barbed-wired fence.
Well, I didn't pick that, but okay. You would have moved Knightley to your office first. This office leads directly to the garden side of the courtyard. If you had moved through here and passed the barbed wire fence, you would have arrived at the prison without passing through the entrance or a tunnel. Ooh, I wonder what Mr. Edgeworth is saying. Haven't you noticed? There's a high voltage current running through the fence. Yeah, obviously she couldn't have passed through it like that. The current to the fence could be switched off at the breaker room, and you were the only one who had the key, Warden Roland.
Most amusing. However, the breaker room is located on the prison side of the courtyard. How would the warden have accessed it from the detention center?
Ah, quite right. Got you there, Mr. Edgeworth. Ugh, that's...
If there is no record of her passing through the prison entrance, it would not have been possible for her to turn off the fence's breaker.
But Warden Roland was the only one who had access. Don't let this faze you, Miles. But if I don't have a solution for this, she'll get away. Now, Uncle Ray never said, don't think, you know. It's just not good to be so stubborn about it, that's all. But no matter how you think about it, Warden Roland couldn't have done this alone. Ah, we're getting somewhere.
Prosecutor Edgeworth, if you have failed to come up with the... I am not amused, interrupting my judgment only to be silent.
Without thinking, I just blurted out objection. I have to answer. I won't let this end here. My reasoning is not over yet.
So, how did she use the breaker without leaving the detention center?
It's perfectly possible. With this method. What made it possible to turn off the breaker? She had an accomplice? Yes. It was indeed impossible for one person, but what if there were two? Exactly, just what I expected from you, Miles. Yes, you had an accomplice on the prison side.
Enough! I am disappointed in you, Prosecutor Edgeworth.
What's that, pal? You making fun of Mr. Edgeworth?
The inmates at this prison all wear bracelets. If they try and go where they please, they will set off the alarm. So you've noticed, this is a prison after all. Not only the prisoners, but the guards too, are under constant scrutiny.
So why didn't anyone notice Elbert?
The only ones allowed to move around freely are the animals. And they certainly could not have used the breaker.
But it's still possible that a person did.
Excluding the inmates and the guards, just what kind of person would you say it was?
Oh, it's definitely an inmate. We can't exclude the inmates and guards just yet. There was only one person whose movement was not restricted. This evidence shows that there was someone in the prison who could have moved around freely.
Take that!
Saw its bracelet!
That is, it looks like the bracelet worn by the prisoners.
This belongs to a certain model inmate, and it's broken.
What? Just who on earth does this belong to?
The accomplice. Frank saw it, the warden's favorite inmate. Oh, you're sweating now, Roland! Don't you think it's strange? He managed to keep this hidden while he moved around freely in his daily prison life. Golly, when you think about it, it shouldn't be possible. I'd hazard a guess that this was because he was a special case, just like Sir Hondogan in the special cell.
The prosecutor's statement is mere conjecture.
You could find out by simply asking Sawit himself. It is my firm belief that Mr. Sawit and Warden Roland were partners in crime. Due to their collaboration, another route surfaces. The real route by which Knightley's body was moved to the prison. There were two obstacles that needed to be dealt with. The security camera in front of Knightley's cell, and the electric fence in the courtyard. Both these problems could have been solved with a single stroke, by having Sawit switch off the breakers in the breaker room. Hold it! Mr. Edgeworth, could you wait one moment? Do you still intend to deny it, Warden Roland? I give in. I confess.
Warden Roland, no, this cannot be.
Yes, it's just as he says. Frank Sawit and I were partners in crime. No way!
You did it, Mr. Edgeworth!
That was too easy, though. Well done, Miles. At last, we have the real culprit cornered. And now we gotta stop here because I'm running out of time, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Laters!